Welcome to another tutorial. In today's video, we're going to take a quick and practical look at how to use the List.Generate function in Power Query. This powerful function allows you to create a custom list by defining exactly where to start, how to move from one value to the next, and when to stop. It's perfect for generating dynamic sequences, setting up date ranges, or building any kind of loop-based logic. Let's begin by opening the Power Query editor. First, go to the Data tab. Then click on Get Data, and from there, select Launch Power Query Editor. Once inside, look for the section where it says Query 0 on the left panel. Right-click on it, choose New Query, and then go to Other Sources. From there, select Blank Query to get started with our custom function. Start by typing an equal sign, followed by List.Generate, and then open the parentheses. As we can see, this function takes three main parameters when the selector is not specified: the initial value, the condition, and the next value. The first parameter is the initial value, written as a function. This is basically where your sequence will start. The second parameter defines the condition. The function will keep generating values until this condition is no longer met. And the third parameter tells Power Query how to move to the next value. In other words, how the sequence should progress step by step. Now let's say we want to create a simple list of numbers from 1 to 10. That means we want to start at 1, keep going until we reach 10, and increase by 1 each time. So type between parentheses equal and greater than, and then 1. Now you might be wondering, why don't we just write 1? That's because Power Query expects a function as the first argument, not just a value. By writing this expression, we're creating a function with no input parameters that returns the number 1. This gives Power Query a dynamic and reusable way to know where the list begins. And from there, it uses the condition and the increment logic to build the full list step by step. The second part is the condition, written as each underscore, less than or equal to 10. This means that for each current value in the sequence, Power Query will keep checking whether it's less than or equal to 10. As long as this condition is true, it will continue generating values. The third part defines how to move from one value to the next. In this case, we write each underscore plus 1, which simply tells Power Query to add 1 to the current value at each step. Once we close the parentheses, the function will return a complete list. A quick and clean sequence from 1 to 10. Now let's take this one step further and use the same logic, but this time to generate a list of dates. Instead of starting at the number 1, we'll start with a date, and then move forward by adding one day at a time. So, just like before, we start with the first parameter. But this time, we're working with a date. We write hashtag date January 1st, 2024. Don't forget the hashtag. It's essential for Power Query to recognize the value as a valid date. In the second parameter, we set the condition that will keep the sequence going. We want it to run until the end of 2025, so we write, for each current value, keep going until it's equal or less than the is January 1st, 2025. And for the third parameter, the step that defines how to move from one date to the next, we use the function date.addDays open parentheses, and for the two parameters add underscore and one add days. Here the underscore represents the current value in the sequence, and the function adds one day to it at each step. Finally, close the parentheses. And Power Query will generate a list of daily dates from January 1st, 2024 to January 1st, 2025. Now let's take one step further and create triangular numbers. Imagine you're stacking cans to form a triangle row by row. In the first row, you place 1 can, then 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and so on, until you have 5 rows in total. The question is, how many cans do you need to create this triangular stack? If you add it up manually, it would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 equal 15 cans. This result, 15, is the 5th triangular number. For this, there's even a formula to calculate it directly. n multiple by n plus 1 divided by 2. Let's build a triangular number sequence. But instead of using a basic formula, we're going to do it the Power Query way using the List.Generate function. We'll start by setting the foundation, the initial value, which is our first argument. Here, we define where the sequence begins. In this case, we're not just starting with a single number. We're starting with a record that holds two named values, n equals 1 and total equals 1. Think of this as a little container we can update as we go, like carrying two variables through each step of the loop. Now for the second argument, the condition that controls when to stop. We want our sequence to run as long as n is less than 6. So once n hits 6, the list stops. That means we'll get a total of 5 steps in our sequence. And here's something important to notice. We write n in brackets instead of just n by itself. Why? Because n is part of a record. Think of it like a tiny table. So when we write n in bracket, we're telling Power Query, grab the value of n from this current step. Now, on to the third argument. This is where we tell Power Query how to move to the next step in the sequence. And here's how that works. We take the current value of n and simply add 1. That gives us the new n. Then we update total by adding this new n to the running total. So at each step, we increase n by 1, and we update total using the new value of n. Let's walk through it in action. Step 1, n equals 1, total equals 1. Step 2, n equals 2, total equals 1 plus 2 equals 3. Step 3, n equals 3, total equals 3 plus 3 equals 6. And so on. And finally, the fourth argument. This is where we tell Power Query what we actually want to output at each step. In our case, it's simple. Each total. That's Power Query's way of saying, just give me the total from each step. That's all I want in the final list. So what do we end up with? A beautiful sequence. 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. The first 5 triangular numbers, built step by step using nothing but logic, records, and List.Generate. And the best part? You didn't use a formula. You built it from scratch using Power Query's engine. That's it for today's video. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you'd like more hands-on Power Query tutorials just like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.